In this session, I will explain question number 8 and 9 of exercise 6.4, and during the 6th period, I will be giving some questions from this chapter only, which will be miscellaneous type. So just 3 to 4 sums I will ask you to do, that is by find the square root of the digit by prime factorization method and by division method also. Okay, so 2 sums you have to solve by prime factorization method and 2 sums you have to solve by division method, that is in the 6th period. Okay, now for this session, for this period, you have to do question number 8 and question number 9. Now what is question number 8 is saying? A gardener has 1,000 plants. He wants to plant this in such a way that number of rows and number of columns remains the same. That is, number of rows and number of columns, okay, remains the same. So number of, suppose there are 10 rows, so 5 rows, 1 2 3 4 5, so there would be 5 column also. So 1 2 3 4 5. So this is the arrangement. 5 rows, 5 columns would be there. This is how he is actually planning to do. Now the question that the writer is asking, that find the minimum number of plants he needs more for this, isn't it? So how many plants more he will need to exactly plant the plant in the equal number of rows and equal number of columns. Okay, so more, when the word more is written, that means they are asking what is the least number that must be added. I hope question number 5 you remember, students, that how we perform, that what is the least number that should be added to a required number to make it a perfect square. Exactly the same way we will do this. The only thing is that as in this question they are asking what is the minimum number of rows and plants, so in this case we have to let the number of rows and number of columns, as because the number of rows and number of columns will be equal, so we'll start our solution like this. Let number of rows be x, okay, and number of column also be x. Fine, as because he is planning to do the same thing, number of rows and number of columns will be same only. So what will be the total of numbers? So total, therefore total number of plants, total number of plants will be equals to what? Row into column, that is row into columns, so x into x, that will be x square. So he need this much of plants. Fine, so x square should be equal to 1,000. So we have to remove this x square form, so it will turn out to 1,000, isn't it? So we have to find out the square root of 1,000, but as we know that 1,000 is not a perfect square number, so we have to make it a perfect square number just by adding it, because in the question I am again saying how many plants he needs more, that means more means we have to add it. So let's do the division method. I hope everyone remembers it. Now we will pair it from the right hand side, so it will be 3 3s are 9, isn't it? So we'll minus 0 0, so we'll put this number here, we'll add it up, 3 plus 3 6. Now if I put 2 here, then I have to multiply with 2, so 4 124, so it's more, so I have to add multiply with 1, so it will be 61. So 1 1 and 61. Okay, so if I minus subtract it, then I will get the value as 39, I guess, isn't it? So here, so let me grab this. Here the remainder is 39. So what we did in question number 5, so as it is quite clear that 31 square is less than, so 31 square is less than 1000, isn't it? So we have to see the next number. Remember what we did in the question number 5? We saw the next number, isn't it? So the next number is what? 32. Next number is 32. So what will be 32 square? And 32 square is what? 1024. Okay, so hence the number to be added equals to 1024 minus 1000, that is 24. That is, if we have to make this 1000 a perfect square number, then we have to add 24 this. Thus the minimum number of plants required by him. So what is the minimum number of plant he would be required? So you write, therefore the minimum number of plants required by him, that is more plants, is 24. Okay, so this is the solution of sum number 8. Okay, now let's move on to sum number 9. Yes, this is question number 9, and what number 9 is saying? There are 500 children in a school. Okay, now for a PT drill, they have to stand in such a way that the number of rows is equal to number of columns. So it's quite same, that the students has to same number of, they have to maintain number of rows and number of columns equal. Now, how many children would be left out in this arrangement? Now, if when the 500 students are arranged in a number of rows equals to number of columns, there are some of the students which will be left out. That means left out means what? We have to subtract. More means what? We have to add. Understood the process? Now, what we did in question number 4, when we have to subtract, what is the least number that has to be subtracted so that a number could be a square number? Okay, I hope many of you remember this. So we'll do the same process for question number 9. But in the same way, we have to see what is the number of rows and number of columns also, as because we have to find the value of x. No, we don't have to find the value of x, but we have to see what is the number of students who will be left out. Okay, so it's very easy, just like question number 4. They are asking that what is the least number that should be subtracted. Now let's start. As because the students has to be arranged in the equal number of rows and equal number of columns, so let number of children in a row be x. Also that and also that of in a column be x. Okay, so total number of students will be, so total number of students equals to what? Number of rows into number of columns, that is x square. Fine. So therefore x square should be equals to 500, that is x this. Now we have to do the division method. Now pair it from left hand side, so it will be 2 2s are 4, it will be 1 0 0. Now we'll add 2 with this, so 4. Now what is the least number? Let me see. 4 3 3s are 9, 3 4s are 12, so it is more than 100, so we'll have to check it with 2. So 2 2s are 4, 2 4s are 8, so it will go with 2. So 2 2 and then 84, isn't it? So number is 16. So remainder is what? Remainder is equals to 16. So if I have to make this number a perfect square number, so how to make it? So we'll write the new number is equals to 500 minus 16. That's because we have to do the subtraction process. I hope you remember question number 4. So the answer would be 484. Okay, and so 484 square root will be what? 22. Thus, we will write thus 16 students, as because we have subtracted what number of students? 16. So 16 students will be left out. Left out in this arrangement. Okay, so remember that when in the question you see that left out or what how many numbers should be, means anything which you see that it's going with minus, with subtraction. Okay, so in that case you have to go with the process that we did in question number 4, that is what is the least number that should be subtracted. And if you see that in the question they're asking what is a number that has to be added, or what is the number that needs to be more should be added, and this type of things which quite similar to addition and all, in that case we have to follow the process of question number 5, that is what is the least number that has to be added. Okay, so these are some of the numbers, and question number 8 and 9 is extremely important, as because specifically they have not said that what is the least number that should be added and what is the least number that should be subtracted. So you have to understand. I believe it is not that tough. Okay, you just need a little bit of common sense, and I believe every one of you possess that. Okay, so for this period, question number 8 and 9 is your assignment, and for question number and for 6th period I will be giving you 4 questions. I repeat, 4 questions. First 2 questions you will solve it by prime factorization method, that all the numbers you have to get the square root, but the first 2 numbers you will follow the process of prime factorization, and the last 2 sums you will follow the division method. Okay, thank you students, and take care.